Master out of the way, so that he wouldn't also get blocked by the sheep. Really well done on his part. So good Blade Master control there. The Voodoo Lounge is going up, but because the pressure's in Fook's base, he's not going to have this lounge up, which is, suffice to say, the Blade Master is probably not going to die to the Farseer, and that lounge probably won't get up, or shouldn't have gotten up if it does get up. Fook also should have probably called the burrows earlier, knowing that the Blade Master had just windwalked. At the very least, you would have forced him to waste the windwalk. But I think if Mosaic had still chosen to attack, he would have got the Blade Master kill and not had his Farseer die. Regardless, pretty good start from Mosaic. Some people argue that he shouldn't have town ported there, that a level 1 hero costs more than a 350 gold town portal, and that's their logic. But that's actually very false. Because he ported, he has time to creep and get level 2, which is very, very key. He needs the critical strike. And also he's able to heal these grunts faster, and he knows if Fook chooses to go Fire Lord and push, then Fook will be in his base very, very soon. I don't know if this is, yeah, Fook sort of dug himself into a hole right now with that loss of the Farseer, which might be a reason why he goes Fire Lord instead of Shadowhunter. I don't really particularly know. It also allows him to pressure. And if you'll notice right now, if he pressures right now, it'll be just as Mosaic's hitting tier 2. Unfortunately for Fook there, he sent a grunt to scout what Mosaic was doing. The grunt got ensnared by the creep, and that's a free grunt kill for Mosaic, so that's unfortunate. But I guess, you should probably be aware of that, the fact that creep ensnares units that are hostile to it and are coming in range. It's kind of common knowledge, I guess. Fook assumed it had been crept already. Again, as the Fire Lord's coming in, one of the key things, the burrows look at his excellent position on his burrows. The first thing he's building is a Spirit Lodge. He wants to dispel as early as possible. He kill EXP denies with the Blade Master. So you see the Farseer only has 25 EXP, soon to be 35, okay. So very well done on his part. Shadowhunter coming out, and the Blade Master heading, I think, to buy Boots of Speed, but possibly, let's see what he does with the Blade Master. Yeah, Boots of Speed and a Staff of Teleportation, which is good. The Staff Teleportation will allow him to harass and get out without using a town portal, and also, if he gets surrounded or Windwalk runs out inside Fook's base, the Staff is reusable, and he's already wasted his town portal, or not wasted, but used. Now notice Fook's creeping. Again, interesting strategy on Fook's part. His timing still should be to hit before Mosaic has too many walkers with the spell. That's kind of the ideal timing, no matter what, when you don't go Blade Master. But he does something interesting in that he's going a mix of Kodos, Headhunters, and Walkers. So his strategy is actually going to be dependent on, I think, on him getting better hero levels and actually being able to fight in the late game. You'll notice the combination of Kodos to Devour and Headhunter Walker. That's a lot of damage per second, as is the spawns and the wolves if they don't get dispelled. So Fook, while his army is all rallied to his base, he is creeping himself at the shop and getting his heroes leveled up as fast as he can. Mosaic, for his part, you'll notice his Blade Master is on its way to level 3. Unfortunately, he does not get this kill on the Kodo Beast. Yeah, you notice these guys must have, Mosaic's got to have some pretty good ping to pull that off, and unfortunately, on GGC he probably would have got that Kodo kill. Anyways, while that's happening, Mosaic also gets a surround on the Fire Lord and uses it and forces Fook to not only buy a potion of invulnerability, but to use his town portal. So well done on his part. Of course, because Mosaic's Blade Master is so weak, he can't enter the base and do anything about it. But his Shadowhunter is left with map control and the freedom to creep. Notice also that Mosaic's gone wards first, for the same reason that Arctic did, the fear of the tower push. If there's a prolonged battle, which is something that's likely to happen in a tower push, or if you're pushing his base, you get to set up the wards long enough that they're going to be useful. You're going to get 3 or 4 of them by mid-fight. And of course they handle Kodo Beasts well, or at least better than Grunts do. Looking again at Mosaic's base, once again, very standard play from Mosaic in that he's mixing the Grunt Raider Walker. Army-wise, it's still 39 food for Fook, 39 food for Mosaic, so they're pretty much even, although Mosaic has yet to get the level 2 Shadow Hunter, which is Healing Wave, and which is going to be pretty important to keeping the Blade Master alive. So the first fight goes off here at the middle. Here's the unfortunate thing when you've gone wards. If there's impromptu fights, such as this one, or this one could have been, I guess, you don't have time to set up too many wards, and wards don't become as useful as, for example, Hex, where you could have taken out a Kodo Beast right away. So Mosaic wisely running and doing whatever damage he can with the Blade Master to this Kodo Beast. Very risky on his part once the Chain Lightning goes off, 27 HP, but nonetheless, he survives. Notice also he bought a Scroll of Healing while he was at the shop, and he's starting to set up wards in his base in case Fook comes in to attack. The Scroll of Healing will become very useful, not only against fighting against the Chain Lightning, but also when you have Spirit Link and the Peons, your damage is very, very, very spread out, which increases the effectiveness of the Scroll of Healing and makes it very worth having. For Fook's part, he heads down to the shop right... Oh no, sorry, that's an illusion. Again, he's creeping. Fook's goal right now, I think, would be level 3 on both his heroes, so that he can push Mosaic's base with that advantage, and then Dispel on Mosaic's part won't be as effective. And if he can get level 3 before there are too many walkers out, all the better for him. Again, plenty of Kodo Beasts on Fook's part, because ideally you want to be able to devour more than Mosaic can ensnare if you're the Farseer user. Unfortunately for Mosaic, he still doesn't have the level 3 Blade Master, but he heads down to the shop and buys a Potion of Invulnerability, which is a very wise move on his part. Another battle going off here, which again Mosaic chooses not to fight, and also very wise on his part. And one thing I want to draw your attention to, Fook's strategy is very, very, very strong if you fight it. And he can force fights the way I do in my last 2 games by trying to tower push, but he chooses not to. And that, because he's gone with these fast Kodos, he does not have Raiders and he does not have Ensnare, which means Mosaic has a much more mobile army and will have the option to run away. And the option to run away, don't underestimate that option, particularly considering if you look at Mosaic's natural expansion. He has an expansion going up, and he's at 48 food, 48 for 60. So when that expansion goes up, he'll be at 48 for 70, and it won't be very long before he can quickly head to 70 food. So he's created some paranoia in Fook by heading to his base and not attacking, and he takes this time to creep, and the creeping is going to pay off pretty quickly for him. He's going to get 3-2, I believe. Okay, almost 3-2. But he does get Healing Wave as a result of that. So well played on his part. Here's something that I don't necessarily agree with that happens. He chooses to fight here, which is interesting decision to make. I mean, he definitely comes out on top in this fight, I believe, but because the Kodos were trapped up front. But nonetheless, he has an expansion going up, so it's not a fight that he had to do, that he had to fight necessarily, because once again he could have run, but he chooses to fight it, and it's actually I think it's a decent decision on his part, because the Kodo Beasts, unfortunately for Fook, were caught up front. So all 3 Kodo Beasts die very quickly. So you'll notice looking at Foods, 51 versus 42. This was pretty much a game-deciding fight, in that Fook lost his Kodo Beasts in bad positions so quickly. And at this point, I think Mosaic could safely leave this fight, and that's exactly what he chooses to do. Notice that Mosaic also had 2 scrolls of speed on his heroes. He had 1 on a Farseer, 1 on the Blade Master. Very wise decision on his part. Again, the ability to run, don't underestimate it. If you don't have a town portal because you used it early on, it really, really pays to have the scrolls of speed. And I think also, I mean, transfer this to your versus human matchup, for example. If both your heroes have scrolls of speed, it's pretty easy to run away from when all they have really is Stormbolt and Slow gets cancelled out by a Scroll of Healing. They're only going to get, maybe 1 kill if they can get a Stormbolt off, if you have speed scrolls. So again, 50 gold can save you many, many units, as it did there for Fook, and as it should do you versus human. Again, the expansion on its way up. Mosaic has entered Upkeep. 54 food, and Fook has not entered upkeep. So at this point, Fook's